Hello everyone and welcome back then. It's the restart of this round 4 of the championship here in Azerbaijan. I think it's due to a mass disconnect, I can't quite be sure, but we are back live and ready. We're going to go straight into the race, of course, no need for qualifying, we have already decided who starts where in the grid. So we will go straight into this then. And here we go, we can get ready for the start of this Grand Prix. It was of course Diego Killer starting on pole, so can he now in this restart maintain that lead? I think we had a few people disconnecting there, so let's hopefully have things running smoothly this time. Here in Baku for round 4, pardon me, of the championship. And the restart is of course moments away. We do have, I think it's 15 runners, 14 or 15 runners ready to take the start here. So hopefully we can have a thrilling race. So there you go, Fretty, Tyne, Diego Killer, CC Brain, VSR Brady, Striker Gamer, Jacob, Greeny, Chicken, Ollie Flavel, Lewis, Marianne, and RJDW and B Morgan. That is your field for the start of this Grand Prix here in Baku, round 4 of the championship. The title fight really taking shape between Diego Killer, the Brain, and of course Chicken. So which one of those three can come out on top? They have dominated races on the podium. They've dominated the podium every single time that they have all turned up. So 100% record for those guys on the podium. So okay, let's get ready. The start of the Grand Prix is moments away here in Baku. Can Diego Killer cut that championship lead of the Brains? Let's find out then. Here we go then for the second time. The 5 red lights are on here in Baku and we are racing. Here we goes Diego Killer from pole. The Brain cannot get alongside in one of the shortest runs in the calendar. He leads then. The Brain second, Chicken third, and there's a little battle there between Brady and Tyne. I think Brady has got just ahead of Tyne there as they go through the trees and now through turn 2. Another really tight corner and they all somehow make it through and they all run now down towards turn 2, turn 3 sorry, and the Brain pulling side by side with Diego Killer. Can the championship leader make his move? He tries the outside and Diego Killer covers them off, and the Brain, the German, has to stay behind for the moment, and it looks like Diego Killer has ridden the first lap storm. He holds on. We've got a yellow flag further down through the field as the Brain remains glued to the back of the Dutchman. He cannot find a way through though, and Chicken is right there as well. What a start to the Grand Prix. It's Diego Killer leading, the Brain second, Chicken third, and Brady up to 4th ahead of Tyne. Let's give you that telemetry, let's give you that lap data, let's give you the position change, and there you go. Tyne up, down 1, Brady up 1, that little change there. Greeny up 4, surprisingly. A few guys down at the back losing a lot of positions. We'll have a look at that in a few moments time. There's the tyre choices being made. Greeny's on softs, Lewis is on softs, the rest on the supers as they all funnel down towards the final sector of the lap, clouting the curbs. Diego Killer, the Brain and Chicken 1, 2 and 3, with Brady dropping back ever so slightly now from that group on this opening lap, as you would suspect. And I think there is slight damage on Brady's car as well, looking at that. And is he understeering a lot through these corners? It certainly looks like it, up against the wall, nearly brushing it ever so slightly, and Tyne could smell blood. He pulls alongside in that Renault with a full use of his front wing, and he will out-drag and surely take the place. Yep, and into the pits comes Brady, and as I said in qualifying earlier on, oh, there's a move there. That's Diego Killer and Brain. The Brain had tried to have a look at Diego Killer. It didn't work. And now Chicken, his countryman, goes past him. And through goes Chicken up into second. The Brain threatening the lead. 2 minutes later, he's been dropped down into third. Brilliant racing there. The Brain tried the outside. Diego gave him the squeeze. And Chicken now up into second place. And this looks like it could be a race-long battle between this trio. Red Bull and Toro Rosso running the show as the Brain has a look up the inside now. And is he making the move? There's contact between them, and Chicken is forced out, and through goes the Brain up into second. Thankfully, no front line damage done, and this is all music to the ears of Diego Killer. He pulls away by 1.2 seconds now to this group as Tyne tries to get himself involved again in that top 3. A breathless start to this race. Chaos on the first race at the start. Not so on this occasion. Everyone keeping their nose relatively clean. I believe there have been maybe pit stops for Brady, Lewis, Striker Gamer and Marianne further down the field. But a great start, and the Brain there really putting one over on Chicken in a place you really wouldn't usually see a move. Aggressive, they banged wheels, they both had their hands out the cockpit, but the Brain won't care. He retakes that second place that he did lose at the start of this lap. So Diego Killer now 1.2 seconds ahead of the Brain in second, Chicken third, Tyne in fourth. It's Jacob in fifth. Ollie Flavo up into sixth place as a result of all the chaos further down the field. So he's sixth, RJDW seventh, B Morgan in eighth, hunting him down. Fretty in ninth, and then a big gap back to Greeny, who is disconnected, I believe, in 10th position. His card is ghosting. Brady 11th, Lewis 12th, Striker Gamer 13th, Marianne is 14th. As Diego continues to lead from the Brain and Chicken in third. So super soft tyres at the moment on these guys. We'll see how long they can make them last, how far into this Grand Prix they can go before making a stop. As you can see, a few guys further down the field have gone straight onto the mediums. They'll be hoping to take those to the end. So certainly one to keep an eye on and see how they get on. But Chicken at the moment looking at the Brain ahead. I'll be wondering how the Brain managed to make a move right here on the previous lap. Caught out, I suppose. But Azerbaijan, it is a street track, but it is a street track where you can make overtakes. And let's see if RJDW can make one on B Morgan. I think B Morgan's actually just overtaken him and climbed back up into 7th place. I think he has. So B Morgan up to 7th, RJDW down to 8th with Freddie behind them. The closest battle on track at the moment. Can RJDW come back as they go into the tightest area of this racetrack? Look how tight this is. It is downtown Azerbaijan. Down Baku, I should say. Passing the castle section, the iconic castle, and really is one of the greatest sights on the Formula 1 calendar. Watching the cars pass through that. Formula 1 cars, you know, cars for the future, passing historic sites like the castle here in Baku. Great to see. And RJDW still following B Morgan. They're unable to get close enough as the gaps start to spread out a little bit further up the field. Jacob, though, the Slovakian, trying to close in on time as he got the pace in that Williams to make a move as they head across the start-finish line any moment now to start lap 4 out of 26. Diego Killer, your leader, the Brain second, Chicken third, Tyne fourth, and Jacob Stowe in 5th. Ollie Flavel 6th, B Morgan 7th, RJDW in 8th, and Fretty 9th. And Lewis now rounding out the top 10. And interestingly, he is on those soft compound tyres. We'll see how he gets on those. So let's have a little look at the position changes so far. The top 4 unchanged. Jacob up 1, Ollie Flavel up 7 as a result of some incidents further down and a few overtakes as well. B Morgan runs in 7th, up 3 places. Up 1 for RJDW, Fretty up 3, Lewis up 4. And as you can see, the guys at the back all down a few places as a result of some front wing changes, I would think. Lewis setting a brand new fastest lap on those soft compounds, so that's pretty impressive from him, given that the guys ahead of him at the front are all on super softs. So we'll see if he can bring himself back into play as the race goes on, as we keep an eye now on Jacob, the super Slovakian, the speedy Slovakian in that Williams, attacking Tyne, and at the moment seemingly has a little bit more confidence in his car and in himself around this Baku City circuit than Tyne does, and is slowly starting to catch this group as we've got a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. It's now clear. I presume it's B Morgan losing out to RJDW somewhere on the track. I'm not sure where. That is the most likely reason for it. But let's see if Jacob can attack that Renault and find a way through back into the lead of this group. Back into 4th position ahead of him, and get his points tally up from what would be 10 at the moment up to 12 that Tyne has got at the moment, and that position ahead. So yeah, Diego Killer in control and looking to cut that championship advantage that the Brain has, and having missed that second race of the season, Diego Killer, he knows how important that is, because it's very early on in the season. I know, I mean, we are only into the 4th race, but there is a pattern developing. The top 3 are a cut above the rest, and for Diego Killer to score nothing by not appearing in the second race, that is going to cost him as the season goes on. So he needs to try and get maximum points here to cut that gap. He doesn't want it getting any bigger, but his rivals, the Brain and Chicken, are very difficult to beat on their day, and it really is a fantastic battle between those 3. Be sure to watch it all season long. It will be fantastic to keep an eye on by those 3 at the moment. Not yet in a battle. This is the best battle on track to watch at the moment. Jacob versus Tyne. And Jacob perhaps getting a little bit frustrated now behind the Dutchman, unable to find a way past him as things stand as they go into that tight sector of track again. It is absolutely single file through here. If anyone makes a move in this section of the racetrack, I will gladly go out there and shake their hands at the end of this Grand Prix. It will be very, very difficult to even consider making a move in that area of the racetrack. So now here goes Jacob, flying through this high-speed middle sector of the lap, and heading down to this very heavy braking zone. There's so many heavy braking zones on this circuit where there's very little runoff, and that is another one. And now down to the final braking zone on this racetrack before you're on the throttle for one of the longest periods of time on the Formula 1 calendar, right up there with Spa as well for one of the longest times on the throttle. You don't hit the brake again, all the way down to the end of this straight for turn 1, and Jacob opens up the DRS on the back of that Williams, but at the moment no signs have been able to gain on the car in front. Tyne seemingly has quite a bit of straight line speed, and it doesn't look easy at all as Tyne gets a little bit rearward there, the back end stepping out on the Renault, and Jacob will be encouraged by that. Perhaps he's starting to run out of tyre grip, rear tyre grip, and now Tyne clips the wall, so Jacob applying the pressure. He opens up the DRS, and that will allow him to get a little closer. Is he close enough for a lunge down into turn 1? We've got a host migration as C-Jamet leaves. I don't know what's happened there, hopefully that's not another restart. Tyne is also left. Oh, please don't tell me we've lost everyone again. Oh, Ollie Flavel's retired. What's going on? Surely we haven't lost everyone again. Please tell me we haven't. And we are going to have to restart again because people have got assists on. So this is turning into a bit of a disaster. But yeah, we're going to have to restart for the third time. So yeah, not at all what we wanted. We did have a good dynamic to that race being set up there, but unfortunately it hasn't worked out. So we will have to go again and restart this Grand Prix. So I'll be back soon. I'm going to keep this stream running actually. I'm not going to start up another stream because I don't want to clutter the channel with lots of streams, but I might as well ask you guys while we're here. I was going to come back, but I'll stay here for now. What do you think from what you've seen so far? We've had a couple of restarts. Who's looking good for the Grand Prix Rectory when we do properly get going? It looks like it's between Chicken the Brain and Diego Killer, but I've got to ask you guys, what do you think? Who is going to be the main man? Who is the man to beat this evening? There you go, Julian believes that Diego's going to win it, the Brain second and Chicken third. So there you go, that's what Julian thinks. Anyone else with an opinion, feel free to let us know, as I'm going to try and hopefully join another session. I think we do have another session ready to go. Yep, so here we go, we can hopefully join, and maybe on the third occasion we can get this race underway properly. And Julian, of course, letting us know that he thinks his good friend Tyne is going to get himself a fourth position, so we'll see how he gets on as we can hopefully get everyone back and get us going at Baku on this third occasion. Is this a case for well done Baku? Well done Baku, third attempt, well done Baku. Well, for anyone watching, we can hopefully get ourselves back underway in a few moments' time. We are hopefully having this restart. We did have a restart there because of a few people strangely running assists, so hopefully we can get ourselves back underway as soon as possible and get this Baku Grand Prix started. It was looking likely that CC Brain, Chicken and Diego Keller, your top three in the World Championship, would be battling it out for the victory, and we expect that again as we get this restart underway for the third time. And that was certainly how the second restart was looking. It was looking like a battle between those three, with Tyne in fourth position, trying to cling on to them. So we'll see how that goes. Jacob Stoll was running well in fifth position too before that disconnect. So we'll keep an eye on them. And of course, I think the man that will be very happy as well with this is Lewis, because Lewis, if he joins, I think he's here. Yep, there he is. He's here. Lewis is a man that is very, very quick. He's had 2 starts already in this race, and both times he's damaged and had to come into the pit. So maybe if he can have a cleaner third start to this Grand Prix, he will be able to threaten the guys later on in this Grand Prix. Now Lewis, I believe, usually runs assists when he races in other leagues. So this is a non-assist league. So maybe he's trying to learn his trade in here. So we'll keep an eye on him, see how his pace is, and see if it's something that he can consider doing full time in the future in other leagues, perhaps get himself onto no assists. But we'll see how he gets on. But I'm pretty sure Lewis is an assist runner for most races, so we'll see how he goes. And of course, we've already heard that Ollie Flavel's usually an assist runner as well, so we'll see how he can cope with no assists. We've already seen him running reasonably well, reasonably consistent, if not super quick, at least not spinning in every corner, because that's certainly how I would be if I was running no assists, because I am absolutely hopeless with no assists. I'm not gonna lie, I'm absolutely terrible. So I don't know how these drivers do it with their no assists. It's absolutely incredible. I just do not have the patience for that. So we'll see how it goes. We can get ourselves back underway in a few moments' time. Well, here we go then. We can get back underway for the start of the Grand Prix. Hopefully this time we will be racing good and proper. So here we go, third restart. It is, of course, just a quick refresh. It is Diego Killer starting on pole position. CC Brain alongside Chicken in third place. So let's see if they can get off the line. Let's see if Diego Killer can maintain that lead. He'll be getting extremely frustrated now, having to go for the third time to try and defend his advantage. And not only that, Lewis, he'll be hoping to get a better start further down the field and avoid any chaos and try and get himself a good result from this Grand Prix. Remember, he did finish on the podium in his only start so far this season, so Lewis, we know, is capable of getting himself involved up the front. Here we are then. It's the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's round 7. Third attempt. No, it's round 4. I'm only joking. Round 4 of the championship. It is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here from Baku. Who is going to get the result that they want? 25 points here. And pick up all the glory. Here we go then. It's Diego Killer starting on pole, third in the World Championship. He really does need to cut that gap down. And we'll see how it goes. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. Oh no, who is that in the chat? Goodness me. Oh no, not the white Pelly. I'm going to ignore him. Anyway, here we go then. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We are moments away from the start. Here we go, the 5 red lights going on. Diego Killer starting on pole. The Prix alongside. It's lights out in Baku. And Diego Killer leads from pole. We've got a drive-through penalty for Fretty. He's jumped the start. But it is Diego Killer for the third time, leading and holding his lead through turn 1. The Prix in second, Chicken in third. And they all seemingly make their way through turns 1 and 2 with no problem. Diego Killer in the lead, Brain second, Chicken third and Tyne in fourth as they all hurtle their way from turn 2 down the long straight towards turn 3. This time round it looks like Diego Killer is a little bit safer from the Brain and holds his advantage quite comfortably. Further down the pack we have got a little bit of battling. Look at that. Jacob Sexton side by side, Marianne and Striker Gamer battling hard in 7th and 8th. And look at that dive bomb from B Morgan making a move on Marin. His car's seemingly saying he's 14th, but no, he's not 14th. A total lag, an absolute nightmare for a commentator to try and understand what's going on there. I would think he's battling for 7th and 8th position, 8th and 9th, sorry, and Marin has got the place. There you go, he's popped up into 9th now on the timing screens. As we go back to CC Brain, who is in a battle with Diego Killer at the front, and just like it was on the previous restart, as we now have Greeny in the wall. He's damaged the front wing and is dropping down the field. Ollie Flavel as well, he's left the session. So once again, the restart is not short of any drama, and Greeny is now limping back to the pit, so he'll need to be careful through this section. It's very easy to understeer. Oh, and he nearly finds himself bouncing off the wall. So Greeny gets going again, and he'll do well to get that running properly. So Diego Killer leads, the Brain in second as they all funnel their way through the final part of the lap. And look at Chicken looking very racy behind the Brain. They all slipstream each other down towards turn 1, and here comes Chicken in the Red Bull. Huge amounts of straight line speed. He pulls alongside the Brain, and is he going to put a move on his fellow countryman going down into turn 1? Chicken on the brakes, makes the move on the Brain and takes second place away. Beautiful move, and Chicken can now set about challenging Diego Killer. Great slipstream, great toe, and through he went up into second place. And Chicken now can start attacking his teammate Striker Gamer now. What about him? He's attacking Jacob Stowe. Is he close enough to make a move? Not quite on the brakes for turn 3, and he remains stuck in 7th position. So here goes Chicken in second place. What a battle this is between the front 3. Tyne actually sticking with them this time round. So Julian will be sitting watching this, hoping for Tyne to get himself a good result. Good Dutch friends the two. Of course, Julian, remember, retiring from PS4 duties to concentrate on Xbox side of things, and he'll be cheering on his fellow countryman Tyne this evening. As Diego Killer under pressure from Chicken. Look at them all right up behind each other. I hope we can have a battle like this all race long. I'd love to see the top 4 dueling hard all race, and the 2 Red Bulls in control. The Brain in third and Tyne in fourth. And
Chicken attacking Diego Killer. Diego Killer doesn't actually look that confident at the moment. Chicken is all over the back of him. He's made that move in the brain on the previous lap. And is he now about to put a move on his teammate as well? Diego Killer looking in his mirrors. Christian Horner and Adrian Newey will be looking on, biting their nails here because Chicken is on the attack of his teammate. Well, Diego Killer feel the need to defend. He probably will because the Chicken has got incredible straight line speed. Again, he tucks himself in behind Diego Killer. 210 miles an hour, defending to the pit wall goes Diego Killer. Side by side into turn one. Has Chicken got it on the brakes? No, he doesn't. He has to settle for second for the moment, but he's all over the back of his teammate and clearly is showing more confidence than him as well. Diego Killer bouncing off the wall a couple of times on that previous lap. And it seems like a matter of time before his teammate comes past. And I tell you what, the brain does not have the straight line speed to match these Red Bulls, because if that was the brain in front, Chicken would have breezed past them, as you've already seen. So maybe both Red Bulls running similar setups, and the only reason Chicken was able to close was maybe due to slipstream and not anything to do with the setup. So there you go, unable to find a way through as we watch CC Brain in third position, trying to get onto the tail of Chicken, but unable at the moment to get close enough. But quite a little battle, quite a fascinating scrap between these guys developing. But I would say of this front four leading group, Chicken looks the most confident as they weave their way through that castle section once again. And Diego Killer just cannot shake them off. They really cannot shake them off. And look at them flying through that middle sector, absolutely on it, weaving their way between the barriers. Diego, Chicken, the Brain and time. All in a line, and the Brain's lost it. The championship leader goes for a spin, following the two Red Bulls out in front. And this is a defining moment in the championship. It's early doors, but he's dropped to 6th place and crucially has damaged the front wing. CC Brain having all sorts of problems. He drops down the field, and can he make it back to the pits? He'll need to slow down for this corner because you can very easily run wide, and he's now limping back to the pits. He just totally dropped it on the exit, clipped the curb, and round went the Brain into the wall, and he drops to 6th place. And look at that, he decides to continue. He's not interested in a pit stop, so he's going to have to limp round. He's going to lose a lot of time over the next few laps, struggling with serious understeer. As you can see on that camera, slight damage on the left hand side to that front wing. They're not symmetrical, and you can see it going through turn 2. The Brain struggling with all sorts of understeer, and now he's got B Morgan all over him, and all over the back of B Morgan is Marianne, the Dutchman, but not close enough to make a move. And the Brain is going to really struggle here, really struggle. What about Lewis? How's he getting on? Well, this time he's got through a lap unscathed without any damage, so we expect him on those soft tyres to come into play later on in the Grand Prix. His gap to the leader is 11.7. It's not a huge gap, but it is a gap, and he's going to have to stay out to make it to around lap 7 to go onto the medium tyres as CC Brain, because otherwise if he came in now he would have to pit again later on. So that's why he's forced to agonisingly battle on as we watch these guys grapple that tricky section between turns 8 and 12. And now through turn 13, high speed left-hander. Any mistake there and you're having a massive accident. Through 14, down into 15 now, where the Brain lost it. I think he just took too much curve on the inside, unsettled the rear and went for a spin. Is Marion going to have a look here? Very nearly having a look into 16, but no way through as they go through turn 17, 18 and 19. Marin right up behind B Morgan, and now through the kink of turn 20. Is he close enough to make a move? I would say so. Here goes Marin. DRS open, the flap opening up on that rear wing, as you can see. Diego Killer, new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. B Morgan feeling the need to defend. Now this is one of the hardest braking zones in Formula 1 for me. It is so hard to get it right going into turn 1, but they both make it, and Marin unable to get away past B Morgan. I just feel that first corner, it comes at you quicker than you think it is. You've been on the throttle for so long. You reach the start-finish line, and the start-finish area is so short. You reach the brakes for turn 1, and all of a sudden you've missed the braking point, and you're left looking silly, going straight on and missing the apex completely. So Marin still stuck behind B Morgan and unable to find a way past the Belgian driver in front at the moment. So a frustrating afternoon for the Sauber driver, unable to find a way past. But interestingly, they are unable to stick with CC Brain, even with that damaged wing. The Brain actually doing quite well and actually gaining on Striker Gamer. So the championship leader showing why he is the championship leader. as Marin gets right up behind V Morgan. And still no way through as they go past the castle section. And is he this time close enough for a move? Chicken is only 6 tenths behind Diego Keller, not worth going to at the moment. This gap's only 3 tenths as they go once again through turns 13 and 14 and past the Parliament building on the right hand side into turns 15 where the brain lost it, and still Marien, not close enough to make a move on V Morgan. Both guys running on the super soft, and there's the spin, and round he goes, thankfully keeping it out of the wall, and that's a disaster, and he loses out to RJDW and Lewis, and down to 10th place goes Marien. He was just a little bit too greedy on the throttle, and round into a spin he went. Meanwhile, what about Lewis in that 9th position, attacking RJDW in that Force India? Here comes the Mercedes on those soft tires, cruising onto the back of him. Can it outbrake him into turn 1? That's a late manoeuvre. Side by side, they're rubbing wheels, and Lewis just about is going to have the inside for turn 2 and should complete the move, and he does. Well judged on the brakes by Lewis into turn 1. It was borderline whether he would have made it or not, but he did, and passing RJDW brilliantly to take that 8th place away. RJW having a look though, no way through as they reach turn 3, and Lewis completes a stunning move of the race so far, and that was beautiful, really was. It's, as I've said already, it's difficult to judge that turn 1. You really look for a reference point on the inside of the track, but Lewis didn't have the inside of the track. He was on the on the outside of the track. You look for your reference. He was on the inside near the pit wall, and you don't really have a reference there. Your brake markers boards are not there. It's difficult to judge, and it's so easy to just overshoot it and wipe anyone out that you're trying to overtake. But Lewis got that spot on, used his experience, and completed the move in turn 2. Absolutely brilliant, and he now moves up into 8th position. Beautiful stuff. CC Brain, meanwhile, despite that damaged wing, keeping tabs with Striker Gamer in that 5th position at the moment. Quite a close battle between those guys, and up in front of that is that a lap car? No, it's VSR Brady. Pardon me, I thought he was 4 seconds ahead of Striker Gamer. No, he's 4 seconds behind time, but he's 1 second ahead of Striker Gamer, so that could be a battle developing soon as we keep an eye on CC Brain as he tries to get himself close enough for a move down towards turn 1. He's not going to be close enough on this occasion. No Lewis style moves from there as we go back to the leaders, who are trading lap times so evenly matched at the moment. And it looks to me like Diego Keller unable to shake off his teammate, but Chicken knows he kind of needs to get a move done now before the pit stops to go into mediums, because he doesn't want his teammate coming into the pits first to eke that gap out a little bit, because if you come into the pits first you get fresh rubber on and you extend that gap. So Chicken, it doesn't look like he'll be able to make a move on this lap. Can he undercut Diego Keller? Is he going to come in earlier? We'll keep an eye on it. Oh, we've lost Jacob Stoll from the race. Oh, that's a heavy shunt on the start-finish straight. Both tyres ripped clean off the car, both front tyres, and I hope he's okay. The Slovakian with a heavy shunt in the start-finish straight. I don't know how he's done that, but his race is run, and Jacob is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix after just 7 laps. As we go back to that battle at the front, this titanic duel between the two Red Bull teammates. Remember, folks, the Mercedes teammates in Formula 1 used to dominate things. Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg battling hard for so many years. Well, you've now got that with Diego Keller and Chicken, it would seem, fighting for this World Championship. And with CC Brain all the way down to 6th place and struggling a little bit at the moment, there's a real chance that these guys can cut the lead. Chicken, in fact, can take the lead in the championship, and Diego Keller can really slice the lead down. But here goes Chicken. He's closing and down towards turn 1. Surely not on your teammate from that far back. And there'll be a sigh of relief from the pit wall that he didn't try that, because that would have ended in tears, we would have thought. What about Brady? Is he going to have a look up the inside into turn 1 and Striker Gamer? Not quite. And the Brain is also not close enough for a move on Brady. But that battle really starting to hot up. What about Chicken? Is he going to have a look at Diego Keller on lap 8 out of 26? No move in his teammate, and interestingly, no decision to come into the pits on that lap to undercut him either from Chicken. So slightly surprising, because I've heard that lap 7 is the earliest you can come in and put a set of mediums on and go to the end, unless these guys think they can stretch them out long enough to go into a set of softs. So we'll keep an eye on that. It is one to watch as Brady and Morgan trade places. Brady's bouncing off barriers and dropping down the field, all the way down to 8th position now for Brady. So he's had a nightmare few corners on this lap. And dropping down to 8th, damaging that wing, and now Lewis is all over the back of him on those softs. And look, he's pulling aside as Brady to allow Lewis through, because it's not worth battling when you've got damaged wing. And Lewis now up into 8th place and making reasonable progress. Not great progress, but certainly reasonable progress on those soft compound tires. Certainly one to watch as the race goes on, and we'll see if he can move himself up towards the top 5 or 6 in the field. This was a big moment of oversteer there from someone. It was RGDW, I think, had a big moment there. But we've got to go back to the leaders, because Chicken is all over the back of his teammate as they go through turns 19 and then down towards the final kink of turn 20, and Chicken is very close to his teammate. And is that a move towards the pit lane from his teammate? I'm not so sure. I think it is. No, it's not. It's a move here. And here we go. Chicken with the straight line speed makes a move on Diego Killer into turn 1, and he's through. The German overtakes his teammate to take the lead away, and Diego Killer, as you've got to say, it's been coming for a number of laps, and Chicken finally gets the straight line speed. He gets the run out of turn 16, followed him closely through 17, 18 and 19, and finally done him into turn 1, and the German takes the lead away. Didn't need the undercut in the pits, and through he goes up into the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and now you would think firmly looking good for the lead of this championship. So there you go, Chicken from Diego Killer tying 3rd, Striker Gamer 4th, and B Morgan in 5th, with Lewis up to 6th now. He's now got himself ahead of RJDW as well, so Lewis doing a fine job as Lewis runs a little wide though, and that could allow RJDW a chance to come back, and they go side by side almost in that middle sector through turn 6s and 7. But no, Lewis has got that move complete and is now up into 6th place. Now the question is, can Chicken get away from Diego Killer? Diego Killer clearly the pace setter in qualifying, but in the race so far you have to hand it to Chicken. He has looked the more comfortable. He's looked like his hand thing on the control, and Diego Killer a little bit rash at times with the rear end stepping out, clipping a few walls. And yeah, there you go. The move is done, and through goes Chicken. And can he now stay ahead as Diego Killer tries to stay behind him? Chicken making a few moves to try and break the toe. And is Chicken now going to dive to the pits to try and give himself a bigger advantage? He's going towards that end of the track, and he is coming in. So there you go. Clever decision from Chicken, you feel. So there you go. Chicken coming in for a set of softs or mediums. Let's have a look. It is softs. So there you go, Chicken. Soft tires to the end. 16 laps he can manage on them. Well, I suppose if you can manage 10 on the super softs, you should just about manage 16 on the softs. What's he like for traffic? Is he going to come out in any traffic? Well, he might, you know. Marin's going to get just ahead of him, and that could cost him here if he does not clear Marion quickly, because Diego Killer will now have a chance in clean air to get himself back in front of Chicken, unless Chicken can clear Marion quickly, because he will catch him, you would feel, on this lap, and it won't be in an area of the racetrack where he can make a move. So let's keep an eye on whether Chicken can get ahead of Marion, or whether he will lose time. I'm actually going to get up the gap to the leader graphic instead of the gap interval graphic, because I think that's more useful at this moment. 22 seconds between Diego and Chicken at the moment. Will that go up in the next few moments? You would think so, as Chicken tries to follow Marion. And yeah, 22.1, it's going to slowly climb, and it's going to be so annoying. As I said, he catch him in the worst part of the track, backing out of the throttle through there, Chicken. This is not what he wants. Losing valuable tenths of a second, up to 22.7 in that little section alone, losing 6 or 7 tenths. Chicken needs to get this move done, because Diego will be in soon. And Marion continues to hold him up, and he's losing all sorts of time. 23 seconds it ticks to now. How much longer does Diego Killer think he can go? And here we go. Can he now get this move done? Chicken, he needs to. Diego Killer is in the pit lane. Here we go then. Up towards the start-finish line they will go. Through turns 19, towards turn 20. That's a very small gap. He goes through turn 20, pulls alongside Marianne. And is he now going to take the place? It's a drag race down the straight. He opens up the DRS. Marianne comes into the pits. Now we have to look for Diego Killer. There he is on pit exit. We look for chicken, and look at that. It's incredibly close. I think Diego Keller, as a result of Marin holding him up, has done it. He has done it. Diego Keller retains the lead of the Grand Prix, or retakes the lead of the Grand Prix, I should say, as a result of Marion holding chicken up. But chicken's having none of it. He's going to get right up behind his teammate, side by side. The two Red Bull teammates into turn 3. He squeezes him up against the wall. But look at that for a move from chicken, right round the outside of his teammate. Absolutely incredible. And the two Red Bulls go dueling here in Baku, and it's brilliant stuff from chicken. But look at this, he's coming back. No, he's not. And Diego Keller, unbelievably, he thought he'd done the job. He hasn't done the job. That was sensational from chicken, right round the outside of his teammate into turn 3. And the German driver retakes the lead at what would be the net lead of the Grand Prix when Striker Gamer and Lewis pit. Well, Lewis had the move of the race. That's just been taken away. What a brilliant manoeuvre from chicken on his teammate, and Diego Keller left standing still. Wow, what a move. What a stunning move. The only good news for Diego Keller after that is that he does have a lap fresher, soft tyres. Can he come back immediately? What a fascinating battle between these two teammates we have here. Diego Keller then, is he close enough to make a move? And you know what, Julian's just said, chickens gave me flashbacks to season 5 Italy when Pitmat went round the outside at the second chicane. You know what, I couldn't agree more. That was stunning. That was one of my favourite moves of all time, and that again, where it was right up there. What a move from chicken to take the lead from his teammate. So Lewis now, your leader from chicken second, Diego third. As Striker Gamer makes his pit stop, we can now change the graphic back to interval. And as you can see, there's very little between Diego Keller and chicken. What a move though from chicken. I mean, he must have been so heartbroken when he seen Diego come out ahead of him. All because Marion held him up, and I said it on the outlap for chicken. He needs to clear him quickly, and he cleared him as quick as he could. He just caught him in an area of the track where it's single file, and you know what? Chicken didn't let it phase him. It was brilliant. It was ruthless driving to go right round the outside of Diego Keller. Diego Keller squeezed him as hard as he could, right up against the curb, right up against the barrier. But no, Chicken did everything he needed to do, drove clean round the outside of him and snatched that position away. Simply superb, sublime driving. So, back to the action. Diego Keller, half a second behind his teammate. It'll be interesting to see if Chicken will be able to break that DRS. It won't be easy. We've got a yellow in sector 2 down at this section of the track. No reason why. Can't see why. But let's go to the brain. He's attacking Striker Gamer, who's just come out of the pits ahead of him. And look how much time the brain's lost out because of that minor spin. Minor spin, minor front wing damage, 15 seconds dropped. What would usually be around 6 or 7 seconds for a minor spin if you don't clip the wall, a full 14 seconds. Almost a pit stop. And his chances of victory gone in a flash. But he can still recover a decent result from this Grand Prix. You have to feel he's going to try and get up to the podium. It won't be easy because time is no slouch ahead of Striker Gamer. Striker Gamer himself is no slouch, and they head towards turn 1, and the brain not quite close enough to make a move on Striker Gamer, and he will be extremely frustrated by that. And what about this time? Into turn 2. Can he get a good run out of here? Get on the throttle nice and early. Striker Gamer looks like he's got a decent run himself. DRS open for CC Brain. He will start to close, but I think he's going to run out of straight, and Striker Gamer should just about hold on, and indeed he does. So no way through for CC Brain at the moment. Can the Brain mastermind the manoeuvre? He is the Brain after all. Is he all the Brain? Oh, he's going to have a look there. That's a strange place to have a look. I've never seen that in my life. And he's going to do it. Oh, what a manoeuvre that is. Right up there with Chickens. Has he completed it? He has. What a move from Chicken through turn 6 and 7 here in Baku. Who would have thought that? Round the outside through 7, and CC Brain. I said he's a mastermind. He is the Brain after all, and that was quite incredible. Up into 5th place he goes. Striker Gamer left standing still, and we are seeing a masterclass in overtaking here in Baku on a street track. That was absolutely incredible. What a move. What a move. Meanwhile, back at the front, Diego Killer is all over Chicken again. And here we go. The two Red Bulls are going to go dueling down the pit straight once more. Chicken doing his best to break the toe. Is that classed as weaving? No, probably not. He's not close enough to call that weaving, I wouldn't have thought. He's simply breaking the toe, and it worked to perfection. Diego Killer unable to make a move. The stewards may look at it, but in my opinion, I'm no steward by the way, I'm a commentator. It was A-OK from Chicken. It was on the limit, but for me it was okay. What a battle between those guys. Chicken and Diego Killer, but that from the brain was simply sensational. Take a bow. Take a bow. That was unbelievable. So, Diego Killer versus Chicken, this battle for victory. And Lewis, by the way, could really throw a spanner into the works here. You would think he's going to around lap 16 for a fresh set of super softs. So he is definitely going to get in the way of this battle. And that's the kind of variable, if you're Chicken, you don't want. You don't want to have to be catching cars in slow areas of the racetrack. That you do not want. So, Diego Killer maybe sensing an opportunity here with Chicken about to catch a slower car. Of course, Lewis, remember, being on those tyres since the start, 14 laps on those softs. They're getting to the end of their life. So if Chicken catches Lewis on an area of the track where you can't overtake, Diego Killer's going to be all over him, waiting to pounce on any misplacement of the car from Chicken as he tries to clear Lewis. And Lewis there, hitting a bump, getting it all wrong. And now Chicken will get a chance to overtake him where he wants. So there you go. Has Lewis get wing damage? No, he doesn't. The tyres are absolutely finished on that Mercedes. And this is going to be very interesting. Marin's retired from the race. That's a shame for him. But we have got to stay with this battle. Look at them flashing through your screen. Through turn 19 and now through the kink of 20. Surely Chicken will ease past Lewis on the run down to turn 1. What about Diego Killer? He's too far back. He's unable to pounce, so you got to question whether Chicken can get the move done. He's going to be forced to the outside. He doesn't want to be hung out to dry here because Diego could pounce. He goes wide, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Diego Killer goes through. Why did he try that? Why did Chicken go around the outside of a car he's not racing? And there you go. He runs wide off the track, and as I said it, Diego Killer goes, "Thank you very much. I'll retake the place." And now Diego Killer in this ding-dong battle retakes the lead of this Grand Prix. What a duel between the two Red Bulls. Why did he do that? Why try the outside? I have no idea. I could just see it coming from the moment he tried it. Run the outside, never going to work. Lewis is a tough customer, and in the end, off he went. They have now both cleared Lewis, given the fact his tyres are destroyed, but I said it, and it's happened. Variables like that you do not want if you're fighting hard with somebody in the race, and it's cost Chicken a position. He misplaced his car, and Diego Killer is up into the lead on lap 15 out of 26. Absolutely incredible. I'm absolutely amazed that Chicken put his car in that position, put himself in a position to be overtaken there. But I suppose the pressure was on. Diego Killer knew if he stuck to the back of him, his chance would come. But I have to say, Chicken might be on one lap older tyres, but he does have the pace, I feel, to have another go at Diego Killer. Diego Killer did show his pace in qualifying. He was slightly quicker. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. Really enjoying this race. Lap 15 out of 26. I'm actually glad we had a third restart because we've had to wait this long for a cracker, and it has been absolutely brilliant so far. And yeah, as Chulios just said in the chat, nerves have been stuck behind a slower car on a tough circuit. That's exactly what it is, mate. Yeah, you're right, it is. The nerves got to him. He tried something desperate, and in the end, it hasn't worked out. And Diego Killer, the Dutchman, can't believe his luck. He retakes the lead, Chicken second, Lewis now third, and surely this lap he'll be in the pits, which will be great for Tyne because Tyne's going to have the brain breathing down his neck pretty soon. 2.4 the gap between those two. The brain fancies getting himself onto the podium before this race is done. So, lap 16 out of 26. Let's give you all a rundown of the race so far. It is Diego Killer in the lead, Chicken second, Lewis in third, yet to stop. Tyne is fourth, CC Brain is fifth. Striker Gamer runs in sixth. B Morgan 9.3 off the back of Striker Gamer. He is in seventh. RGDW is in 8th position. VSR Brady is in 9th on the medium tyre. Fretty a minute and 6 off these guys in 10th position. He'll be happy just to pick up a point, I suppose. Marion is out of the Grand Prix with a crash. Ollie Clavel, of course, running on 11th. He's just gone ahead of Marion. So Marion is out of the Grand Prix. Greeny is out, and Jacob Stowe with that heavy crash, as we've seen on the pit straight, where he had both the front tyres off the car. That is a brand new chassis, without doubt, for the Slovakian driver. So let's keep an eye on Tyne and Lewis. Tyne will be closing in on Lewis. I would expect Lewis to be in this lap. I'd be surprised if he's not. I'll be very surprised if he's not, as Lewis clears Ollie, who's actually disconnected from the session, so that's why he's so far back. And that's quite an easy move for him, as the car in front will goes. So Lewis now in that third position. Surely he'll be in this lap. Let's have a little look to see if he does come in. And he looks like he's gunning towards the pit lane as Chicken sets a new fastest lap, 1:43.2. He ain't finished with Diego yet. He certainly isn't finished. And here we go then, into the pit lane comes Lewis. And what will he put on in that car? I would expect a brand new set of the Super Softs, and indeed it is. And away goes that Mercedes car. Where is he going to rejoin? I would expect around B Morgan. Is he going to be ahead or behind B Morgan? Here comes B Morgan. I would think behind. Yep, he is behind him. Well behind him, actually. And actually, he might even be behind RGDW. He is going to be behind RGDW, just about. And rejoins the race in 8th position. So we'll have a look and see if Lewis can get himself ahead of RGDW. That certainly looks like a possibility, given that he is now on fresh Super Softs. He will be on a charge, Lewis. Can he get himself up as high as the top 6? It is going to be a bit of a mission for him. He's got to first clear RGDW, then find 6.4 seconds to get onto the tail of B Morgan. But you'd feel on these fresh Super Softs he will have an opportunity to do that. So we'll keep an eye on that. And in fact, we're going to stick with this for the moment, because I can see the gap between the front two has opened up again to around 8/10. Chicken unable to pounce on this lap, unable to build on that fastest lap he done on the previous lap. So we'll keep an eye on this little duel at the moment between RGDW and Lewis, and we're going through that castle section in a few moments' time. Absolutely no way you're making a move here. Mind you, we said there was no way the Brain would make a move through turn 6 and 7, and he did. So maybe there is a move potentially at the castle section to be done by someone today. They've just about made moves everywhere else on the racetrack, but Lewis on those Super Softs far quicker, and you would think it is Premiership against Championship in this little battle, to use a football analogy. Unfair battle, you would feel, given the difference in the tyres. So here we go. Here goes Lewis. He lights up those rear tyres coming out of turn 16 through the kink of 17. Now the high speed 18 and 19. He needs to watch for the dirty air. It will affect him through there, but he's got so much grip and on those Super Soft tyres, and he was already pulling alongside him. Look at that. Won't even need the slipstream. DRS open, and he will pull alongside and easily complete that move. Lewis up into 7th position and easily passing RGDW. Not really a fight worth battling for RGDW. He's going to have to keep an eye on Brady behind, who's only 4.3 back, and Lewis already under 5 seconds behind Morgan, and you would feel is going to catch him relatively quickly. So let's go back to the battle at the front between Diego Killer and Chicken. It's been a classic duel between two teammates. It really has. They've swapped positions a couple of times already. Oh, look at that! Diego Killer in the wall! I do not believe it! He's put it in the wall, and out of the Grand Prix goes Diego Killer. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, somebody else was in the wall down there. It was Fretty that joined him in the wall, and Diego Killer has thrown it all away. I was just talking about how it was the greatest of duels between two teammates, and all of a sudden the Red Bull driver down at the castle section has put it in the wall, and Diego Killer was looking at making inroads in the World Championship, has ended up leaving Baku with no points at all, and the Dutchman will be absolutely gutted. He is out, and that is a real shame for him, and Diego Killer is out, and Time now is up into 2nd place. Well, there'll be no Eagles getting killed. I think he'll be killing himself. Diego Killer has left the session. He's having a nightmare weekend, and I can assure you, in his walk back to the paddock or his little trip back to the paddock on the moped, he'll be keeping his helmet on, because you tend to find that Formula 1 drivers, when they've made an error, they try to hide from the cameras and keep their helmet on. And that is an absolute disaster for Diego Killer. He'll be furious with himself. Championship points, 25 points thrown away. And into the wall he goes, out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Quite incredible. Chicken then back into that lead. And despite making a mistake on his car placement when following Lewis before his stop, he has re-inherited the lead. And the tale of the two Red Bulls has come to a close, unfortunately. I was actually looking forward to the finale, to that little battle, but it all ended prematurely in spectacular fashion. Diego Keller in the wall at the castle section on the narrowest corner on the Formula 1 calendar. So there you go, out he goes, and the brain, as we suspected, has very quickly caught Tyne, and all of a sudden that disastrous weekend that the brain was having, or this disastrous Grand Prix, isn't so disastrous after all. If he can find a way past Tyne, he will be leaving this Grand Prix level on points with Chicken in the championship. There was 7 points between them going into this, and there will be nothing between them leaving here. And all of a sudden Diego Keller has left himself a mountain to climb in this World Championship. Did not turn up, of course, for the second race of the season, and now a non-score. So this is not what he wanted at all. And a disaster, an absolute disaster for him. And he drops right out of contention as we keep an eye on CC Brain, following Tyne down towards turn 1. Not yet close enough to make a move on lap 20 out of 26. You would fancy that in a couple of laps' time he will be close enough to make a move. He'll be hoping to make it a German 1-2. We were on course for a Red Bull 1-2. That ain't happening. So can he now make it a German 1-2 for Chicken and the Brain? Chicken, the Brain might be his fellow countryman. He won't be cheering him on though, because he's in a championship battle with him. And Tyne can be the stopgap in between and try and block the Brain's charge towards the championship. So here we go, 4 tenths between them. Tyne is a tough customer. He's not easy to overtake, and he will not make this easy at all as they go into that tight section of track where the Brain had made that incredible move earlier in the race. I still cannot believe that, by the way. And now down to where Diego Keller made his crash up there, down at turn 9, and then through 10, 11 and turn 12. Is the Brain close enough to make a move on Tyne? Chicken 7.8 seconds out in front. That gap coming down a little bit, you know. That gap is coming down. I wouldn't think it's going to come down enough. I suppose Chicken now, he knows it's all looking good for him. It is looking good. He just needs to coast home. He should have this under control. It is a street track where one mistake can cause a lot of issues for you. So if he was smart, he would just turn it down a little bit, turn the engine down, take no risks, and just bring the car home carefully and ensure that he gets those 25 points. But the Brain, this is the story of the race at the moment, the Brain attacking Tyne. In fact, it's not, but there's a better battle on track. There it is, RGDW and B Morgan battling for that 6th position as they go through turn 16 and onto the throttle. And they will not get off the throttle again until they reach turn 1. In fact, they might if you're B Morgan, because he is really struggling with that front wing damage. The right hand side of it severely damaged, and that is why RGDW is all over him as they go down towards turn 1. And look at the straight line speed. He's pulling alongside already, and he's going to surely go past him with ease. And indeed he does. B Morgan might try fight it on the brakes. He does try fight it, but he can fight no more because RGDW takes 6th place away. And B Morgan down he goes into 7th place, and Lewis has already cleared these guys. He cleared these guys very, very quickly and is already charging on to the back of Striker Gamer maybe in the closing laps. 5 laps to close, 12.5 seconds. I would say that's just a little bit too much. As B Morgan is having another look at coming back at RGDW. Unable to do it though. And with that front wing damage, it is not easy, especially on a street track like this. And you are left with a dilemma a lot of times. I mean, I'm interested to hear what you guys watching would usually do. Would you usually on a street track like this pit, you know, when you've got front wing damage, because you're risking it. You know, if you damage your front wing, you're risking damaging the entire car by overestimating how much turning you've got and crashing and ripping the suspension apart. Are you better sometimes on a street track where a lot of people retire to be conservative, come into the pits, make sure you've got all your bits and bobs on the car, and then carry on your way? You know, it's a tough one, but certainly on a track like Monaco, Azerbaijan, you need to be careful, you need to be wary. And B Morgan at the moment unable to, he's powerless really to get himself back onto the tail of RGDW, and that gap is just only going to open up. But we need to go to the battle between CC Brain and Tyne. It really is hotting up in the closing laps. Only 4.5 laps left, and Tyne at the moment holding on. He's doing a really good job, to be fair, of keeping the Brain back. Not flustered by it. The Brain caught him quite quickly, but he's not really went past him as quickly as I would have thought he would have. Is he going to have a look up the inside, maybe? He has a little look, but no more than a look. Lets Tyne know he's there. And at the moment, the German 1-2 is off the cards. Tyne doing a superb job in second. Remember, folks, you can also give us a shout for who your driver of the day is. If you're watching in the group chat, feel free to let us know who your driver of the day is. I have got to make 3 nominations for the driver of the day, and I'm looking at it right now, and I have to say Chicken is a real contender. The Eagle Killer, he'll be furious. He could have been our contender for driver of the day, but that big crash, that big error, means he cannot be. Time is another contender for me for driver of the day. The Brain had that big spin earlier on, so it's hard to give it to him. Who else could you give driver of the day to? Let's have a little look at the position changes. Who's had a few changes in position? Lewis is up 9. I mean, perhaps Lewis could get the other mention for driver of the day, maybe. He's doing well. So I'm probably going to go with my 3 nominations: Chicken, Time, and Lewis. Especially the way Lewis has come back through the field after that pit stop. I'm interested to hear what you guys think of it. Chulo, there you go. He's giving his thoughts. He thinks Baku is tricky because of the high-speed turns, and he would consider a pit stop for any wing damage. Monaco is more manageable due to the slow corners, and I tend to agree with that. I don't know if anyone else tends to agree with that, but that's certainly how I see it. And whenever I've driven Baku, remember I'm a commentator, not a driver, but whenever I've driven Baku, I've tended to have a few problems keeping it out of the wall at the best of times, let alone with front wing damage. But I'm watching this battle now, and Tyne is really doing an incredible job keeping the Brain back. The way Brain speeded up onto the back of him, I expected this move to be done, but I mean, yeah, I suppose another good point there. The Brain made such a good move that he maybe should be considered for driver of the day. So yeah, interesting. But Chicken's move was really good too. I mean, it's so hard to suggest. I mean, let us know, guys. Who is your driver of the day? Let us know. But my nominations: Chicken, Tyne, perhaps Lewis, perhaps the Brain. That's the debate for me. Do I nominate the Brain? Do I nominate Lewis? Let us know what you think. But can Tyne fend off the Brain in the closing laps? That could affect his chances of winning driver of the day and collecting those 18 points as well. And Striker's Gamer isn't that far away as well, you know, in 4th position. Any incidents between the two ahead, and he would be inheriting a superb 2nd place perhaps. So he'll be hoping for some things to happen up ahead. But at the moment, no signs of it. Tyne holding firm, doing a superb job of holding on to that advantage. A little clout of the curb there though, and the Brain might just be getting the door opened here. He's having a look up the inside into 16. The pressure is on. The fans in the grandstand, they're on their feet. They're expecting some action. The Brain impatiently nails the throttle coming out of 16, and now loses a little bit of traction, loses a little bit of time. A huge kick of oversteer there, and dropping back now. It looked like he was gathering momentum there for a move, but it didn't happen. He just let up the rears too quickly, and it didn't quite materialise. And the Brain is running out of opportunities. It's lap 24 now out of 26, and Tyne continues to hold on, and the Renault doing a fine job of holding off that charging Toro Rosso, and Striker Gamer is just waiting in the wings for any incidents. But has the Brain turned up the engine a little bit? He's getting closer and closer as he runs down towards turn 3. Oh, look at that, right in the gearbox now of Tyne, who's surely under the more pressure than he's ever been under in this race. And is it a matter of time before the Brain comes through? What a battle for 2nd place here in Azerbaijan. The Brain has another look up the inside where he pulled off that famous move earlier in the Grand Prix through 6 and 7. Now down towards turn 8. Still no sign of a move. And Tyne still clinging on. And they now will pass Ollie Flavel, who is of course a ghost car. He is disconnected from the section. Through the castle section they go. The eye of the needle as you thread your way through there, and the Brain continues to mount the pressure onto the Dutch driver in front of him. He is trying to get himself into 2nd place and make sure that he leaves this race with a joint leading the championship at the very least. Tyne again unsettles his car on the curb. The Brain right onto his tail now as they go into turn 16. Again, there's no way through. Can he this time get the rear spot on? A little bit tighter from the Brain coming out of 16. Now through the kink of 17, 18 and 19 are flat out. And then you begin the long descent towards turn 1. He's right in his gearbox now. The Renault under serious pressure, but Tyne's got incredible straight line speed. Here comes the DRS from the Brain. He opens it right up. And is he close enough to make a move into turn 1? You know what, I think he is. Tyne feels the need to defend. Brain tries to sweep right round the outside of him, and he can't do that. And he loses yet another opportunity to make a move. He's running out of chances. He's running out of miles. He's running out of corners. And Tyne again superbly defends. And his fan, his good fan and good friend, Julian is demanding he holds on to this second place. And here we go, a late lunge from the Prix perhaps. It's a sneaky look. He's certainly getting closer going into turn 3. He's getting closer and closer. But again, it's not enough. And Striker Gamer now only 1.8 behind them. I think it's just a little too late for him. But he is catching them. One error from these two. One slide, one spin, and Striker Gamer will be on them. What a battle. Oh, look at that. Incredibly close. He nearly shoved him into the wall at turn 8. The Prix is literally saying to Tyne, come on mate, get a move on, nail the throttle. The Prix clearly has the pace advantage, but Tyne sticking to his task, having probably the race of his life, one of his best ever drives in Supreme Racing League, without doubt. Putting a fine defensive masterclass on here, and is the Prix this time close enough coming down into turn 16? Can he get his throttle right? Can he get the exit right this time? Gentle, that's it, perfect from the Prix. Surely Tynes are sitting duck this time. Here we go, the Renault under real pressure. The Toro Rosso gaining a little slide there from the Prix. Coming out of turn 18, now through 90 to 20, up towards the start-finish line. Tyne will need to get defensive, you feel. Will he go to the inside? He surely has to. The Prix is gaining and gaining and gaining. Is he close enough? Not quite. Tyne again feels the need to defend the inside. Prix tries the outside. What about the cutback? He gets a great exit. Now down towards turn 2. Tyne defends the inside again and holds on. Or does he? Right on the outside goes the Prix. That is absolutely magnificent. And they're in the cockpit. They go side by side. It's a drag race down towards turn 3. But I think the Prix has pulled off yet another defending incredible move. Oh, he's wide. But he gets it done. And that is absolutely sensational. The Prix, yet again, with a stunning move around the outside. And now Striker Gamer is there to try and rob Tyne of a podium completely. That's a shame. I feel for Tyne. He was defending so well, but when you get overtaken like that, right around the outside at turn 2, it really is so special. What a move again from the Prix. A brilliant move. And you know what? I'm afraid Lewis is not going to get nominated for Driver of the Day. The Prix is going to get nominated. The top 3 are going to be the nominations, unless Striker Gamer can do something about Tyne in the closing corners. What a move from the Prix. Again on the outside. Absolutely unreal. To snatch the place away. A Striker Gamer really closing in the back of Tyne there, but not enough to make a move. But what about this time? I want to go to the leader in a minute, but I can't yet. Striker Gamer on the inside, banging wheels but unable to find a way through. Chicken meanwhile is coming up to the line. We have to watch this because he's coming up to the line to win. He battled hard with his teammate, but his teammate succumbed to the wall at turn 9. And in the end, Chicken wins the Grand Prix to go joint level in the lead of the championship with the Prix. Meanwhile, guys, look at this. It's a side by side to the line. It's Stroll Bottas. It's Striker Gamer who snatches third from Tyne in the closing corners of the race. And it's a real shame for Tyne. He loses his champagne completely. Second position, gone. Third position, gone. And he just ran out of tyres. He ran out of grip on that final lap. And we only had 10 finishers, by the way. But that was one of the great SRL races. Some great racing, some great overtaking manoeuvres on a track where it isn't always easy. And I really enjoyed that. Chicken kept it out the wall. He beat his teammate after he succumbed to an incident in the barriers at turn 9. He brilliantly wins from the Prix in second, who made a fighting comeback after an earlier spin. Striker Gamer unbelievably outdrags Tyne to third position to rob the Dutchman of what would have been a brilliant podium. He'll be sick. I am actually personally going to go down and deliver Tyne a bottle of champagne. He deserves it for his efforts. He might not get to taste some in the podium, but he deserves it for his efforts. What a race. It is RJDW who comes home in 5th. And that really was an SRL classic. Well done to Chicken though. He kept it clean and ended up making it another victory. 2 victories now for Chicken this season out of the 4 races. A fine performance and a fine race as well. Well, there you go. Chicken delighted in the podium. He leaves here joint level in the championship with the Prix. He'll be absolutely delighted. And there is the winning car, that Red Bull. He holds the trophy aloft. Round 4 belongs to Chicken, the German driver on top. It's a German podium. Look at that. All 3 drivers on the podium are Germans. They've invaded the SRL. They're taking over. That's a brilliant win from Chicken. CC Brain with a great recovery, and striker gamer Pipping Tyne on the line to come home in third. What a brilliant race here in Baku. And there it is, your final results of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Chicken winning then in that Red Bull from CC Brain in second. Striker Gamer bringing it home in third with Tyne in fourth. It was RGDW that brought the Force India home in fifth, some half minute off the pace. Lewis faded out of it in the end and dropped down to sixth position in that Mercedes. B Morgan was seventh. It was eighth for the Haas of, it was in this Sauber. It was Marin. It was, oh goodness me, I can't remember. Was it Marin? I don't know who it was. My apologies, folks. Fretti was ninth, and the Williams in 10th. So there you go. That rounds off the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. An absolute cracker here in Baku. Well done, Baku. Hashtag well done, Baku. As to be said, we had to wait for it. It was the third attempt before we got it, but that was magnificent. And my three nominations for Driver of the Day, they are, I have to say, Chicken for sure, CC Brain for his incredible manoeuvres, and it's a toss-up between Striker Gamer and Tyne. Oh, who do I go for? Who do I go for? I've got no idea. This has got to be one of the hardest three nominations I've ever had to make. It really is. I would probably go for. I'm going to go for Striker Gamer. I'm sorry, Tyne. I'm sorry. It was good defending up to a point, but Striker Gamer to nab that podium place. I'm going to go for the top three. I'm going to be boring and go for the top three. So there you go. CC Brain, Chicken, Striker Gamer. The three Germans dominant, and those guys on top. I'm going to try and get them in for some interviews. Let's see if we can get them in, because that would be great, because I really enjoyed that race. I really did. Bear with me for a few moments, folks. Hello, hold on a sec. I'm just gonna invite everyone in. Hopefully, I can get everyone in, and then I'll start the interviews. Chicken. Let's try and get Chicken in. Have you got Brain? Have you got Chicken as a friend? Can you maybe add Chicken into the party for me? Have you got him as a friend? Okay, I'll see if I can get him. Hold on. I'll try anyway. I'll give it a go. I'd like to hear from him. Does he speak good English? Does he speak English? Okay. I think we'll struggle to get him in. I think, but we'll see. Striker Gamer. Striker Gamer offline. He must have went offline. He's not in the lobby anymore. So we're gonna miss out on him, I think. Well, I think we'll wait and see if Chicken joins, but we'll speak to you, Brain. Hold on a sec to get us back to the game. Yep. Well, what do you think of that one then, the Brain? You had to make a bit of a recovery drive after a big spin, and some incredible overtaking moves. Some of the best moves I've seen at Baku. That was a brilliant recovery. Absolutely incredible. Your thoughts on that race?
Thank you, yeah. I just damaged my wing at this turn 15, I think it was. I ran over the curb and then puts me in the wall. So it didn't feel that bad without the front wing, so half of that. And then I pitted at lap 8. Then did a good undercut of all of them.
Yep.
I think I had even the pace to win this race, to be honest. And then yeah, the last lap overtake, I wasn't even going for it. On
Tyne.
who was it?
Tyne.
G-Gen?
Yeah, Tyne, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought he would squeeze me out, so I wasn't going for it, but he just left the door open around the outside, and then yeah,
Yeah, it was an incredible move. It really was. It was brilliant. Not only that, the one at turn, I can't remember who it was on. It was turn 6 and 7, I think it was. You made a move around the outside. That one was that was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. Incredible move. Talk us through that one. That was mental.
Yeah, I was following. I don't know who it was at the end. And he locked up a little bit, so I was just going for it. Like Senna always said, when you're not going for a gap, you're not longer a racing driver. So yeah, he leaves me space, so everything went fine.
Yeah, superb, absolutely superb. What happened then at turn 15? Did you just take too much curb on the inside, unsettle the car? Was that what happened?
Yeah, I think it was something like that, and then it spun me.
So you say you think you had the pace to win because it was looking like a really tight battle. I think it's going to be quite a tight championship between yourself, Chicken, and well, Diego had a bad afternoon in the end today, but I think you guys are all quite close on pace. It's going to be quite a close title fight, isn't it, between you three, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The Arctic Killer dropped now a bit off with his retirement and not racing Bahrain. Yeah, but I think he has the pace to win the championship too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a great race, and your overtakes really did help. Chicken, are you there? Chicken? Yeah, well done. Superb job. You won the race today. What a battle. What a battle it was. It was looking like it was going to be a three-way battle, yourself, Brain and Diego, but it ended up being a two-car battle between the two Red Bulls, and that was superb. Teammates battling hard. Christian Horner and Adrian Newey didn't want to look, did they? Yeah. Big mistake. Yeah, a really big step. You know, Diego Killer, of course, himself will be trying to fight for the championship, having missed out in Bahrain. He'd been hoping to get 25 points, so it's a big hit for him. A big help for you, of course, and for the Brains. I think you guys are now level on points, actually. I think there was 7 between you. I think you're now level on points, you two. So, quite a battle shaping up there. Talk us through your move on the exit of the pits. That was a great move into turn 3. That was incredible. I mean, there was so many good overtakes in the race, but checking that one on your teammate was another brilliant move. Yeah. Yeah, Marion, traffic. Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it was great. It really was. I really enjoyed it. It was one of my favourite races to cover. We had to wait. We had to have 3 restarts before we had it, but it was worth the wait because it was really exciting. I really enjoyed it. So well done, in particular to you two guys, because some of the overtakes from you two were absolutely ridiculous. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant to watch. Yeah, I'm going to put some of them up on Twitter as well because they were absolutely brilliant. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Can I ask you, Chicken, why did you feel? I was criticising you. Why you felt the need to go on the outside of Lewis into turn 1? Because it meant you were in a difficult position. It allowed your teammate to get on the inside of you. I was speaking about it before the move was done. He doesn't want to get his car in a bad position here because his teammate will pounce. What was the thinking? Was it just desperation? Desperate to get past? What happened? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, well, thankfully for you, your teammate. Well, thankfully from a driver perspective, your teammate ended in the wall. As a team perspective, maybe not. So yeah, congratulations anyway, Chicken. Congratulations, great win. That's your second win of the season, and you've not been off the podium yet. So 4 straight races on the podium. Consistency is key. So good job, good job. So I'm gonna try and get. I'm going to try and get Striker Gamer in, and perhaps even Tyne as well. You guys feel free to leave if you want. Feel free, you can stay for that as well. But I'm done with you guys. I've got your questions. It's up to you if you want to stay or leave, whatever. I'm going to try and get Tyne in. I'm going to try and speak to the other podium man, Striker Gamer, as well. So well done anyway. If you're away, I'll see you later. If you remain, that's cool. Whatever. Well done. See you next time. See you later. I've now invited Tyne and Striker Gamer. We'll see if they join us. We'll give it a couple of minutes and we'll see if we can get them in. But yeah, apologies for the wait, folks. We've not got them all as a friend, so we'll see if we can get them in. Oh, there we go. There's Striker Gamer. That's what we want. I've already spoken to, of course, the winner and the second place man. Let's have a word with the man that finished third. Just about finished in third. It was very, 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 very close. What a crazy finish to the race that was. Well done on snatching third. I bet you didn't think you were going to get that at the finish.
Not really. But I was hoping to get P3 because P2 and P3 was battling quite a lot at the end. And yeah, I was hoping to get P3 and I got like Bottas did on Stroll last year.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I mean, Tyne will be crying. He'll be crying his eyes out. He was second. Ended up down in fourth place. No champagne for him. It's okay though. I'm going to personally deliver him some champagne because he deserves it. A real shame for him. But yeah, an all German podium. That's a surprise. An all German podium. What about that?
Yeah, it's quite a fun. But yeah, I easily in the first 2 races, but they were pretty bad. I crashed but they restarted 2 times. So I was quite lucky that the third race was that good. So yeah.
Yeah, good job. Can you talk us through your race then? Talk us through your race. We were trying to focus on the battle at the front at times, and then there was a few other battles. Did you have a quieter race than others, or were you in the thick of it as well? We didn't catch as much of you. You kind of creeped your way into the top 3 at the end, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't know. My race was like quite good. I started P7, and yeah, race was like, I don't know, not much battles, but just the battle at the end.
Yep.
And yeah, so I don't know what to say really.
Just sneaked your way in and very consistent race, and got yourself the podium. So yeah, good job. Good job. Well, I suppose that's it then. The top 3. There you go. It was, of course, the race winner, Chicken, the Brain recovering to second, and of course Striker Gamer bringing it home third. It was an all-German top 3. I very rarely see that in SRL, so good job to the Germans. And that rounds it off then. That is the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That is it. Have you got anything else to add? Anything else you want to say, Striker Gamer?
Not really.
Not really. Well, there you go then. That's it.
Just the fact that we don't have to restart 2 times next race.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Well, you know what? We had to wait for a good race today, but we really did enjoy it. It was a cracking race, so it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. But yep, hopefully we don't have to restart 2 times for the next Grand Prix. So we'll see you again next week, 8:30 next Friday, usual time for the next Grand Prix. That's all from me. That's all from everyone on the podium. And we'll see you next week for the next race. So, thank you and goodbye.
Yep.
Goodbye.